Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Elite English Academy. Before we begin today's lesson, I want to ask you something very honestly and very calmly. Have you ever felt that your English becomes stuck when you try to speak in real life, even though you understand grammar, vocabulary, and rules quite well? Many English learners feel confused when they hear people say, playing games helps you learn English. They quietly think, how can games be educational? Or isn't learning supposed to be serious? This confusion often creates a fear that if they relax, they will stop improving, and this fear holds them back more than they realize. In today's video, we're going to talk about the importance of playing games, not only for fun, but for confidence, communication, mental clarity, and spoken English development. We will explain how games actually help your brain think faster, respond naturally, and speak more confidently in real-life English conversations. So I politely request you please stay connected till the end, because this discussion might change the way you look at English learning forever.
Good morning. Hope you're doing well today. Because honestly, I woke up feeling a little mentally tired, even though I didn't do anything physically exhausting yesterday.
Good morning. I can understand that feeling very well, because sometimes mental tiredness comes not from work, but from overthinking, stress, and constantly pressuring ourselves to be productive all the time.
That is exactly what I feel. From morning till night, I keep thinking that I should be learning something useful, improving my English, or doing something productive. And when I try to relax, I feel guilty.
This sentence is very useful in daily English. I feel guilty when I try to relax. You can use this sentence in real-life conversations when you want to express emotional pressure without sounding dramatic or weak.
Yes, and sometimes I think that if I spend time playing games or doing something fun, I am wasting time instead of learning English seriously.
That thought is extremely common among learners. The phrase wasting time is often used emotionally, not logically, and we need to understand how learning actually works in real life.
To be honest, my biggest fear is that if I focus on fun activities like games, my English speaking will become careless, informal, or even incorrect, and I will lose the seriousness required to speak properly in professional situations.
This is a very honest fear, and I appreciate you for expressing it clearly. The phrase "to be honest" is a very common spoken English expression used to introduce a sincere or slightly sensitive thought.
Sometimes, when I speak English, my mind goes blank and I cannot respond quickly, even though I know the words, and this makes me feel embarrassed in front of others.
What you just said is extremely important for learners to hear. The phrase "my mind goes blank" is actually an idiomatic expression, and it means that suddenly you cannot think, even though you know the information. This happens because spoken English is not just about knowledge, it is about mental flexibility, comfort, and practice under relaxed conditions. I have an idea? Instead of explaining everything theoretically, why don't we turn this discussion into a small role play related to the importance of playing games, so learners can hear how these ideas are expressed naturally in spoken English?
That sounds helpful because role play allows learners to observe how sentences flow naturally without memorization.
Exactly. This is an important point for learners. Role play helps because it shows English in action, not in isolation. So while watching this role play, please pay attention to the phrases we are using, how we hesitate, how we clarify, and how we improve our sentences naturally.
Lately, I've been feeling that my concentration is getting weaker, and even when I try to practice English speaking, I feel mentally exhausted and unable to express myself properly.
When you say mentally exhausted, do you mean that you feel tired even before you start speaking? Or do you feel tired because you are constantly pressuring yourself to perform perfectly? This is a long question, and long questions are very useful in real-life English discussions because they show clarity, concern, and depth of thought.
I think it's a combination of both because I feel like learning English has become a responsibility instead of an enjoyable process.
This sentence is very important. Learning has become a responsibility instead of an enjoyable process. You can use this structure to compare emotions, habits, or changes in attitude in many real-life conversations.
Someone recently suggested that I should play games to relax my mind, but I was confused about how that could help my English speaking ability.
That confusion is understandable, because people often associate games with distraction. But in reality, games help improve reaction, speed, decision-making, and natural communication. The phrase in reality is a transition phrase that helps correct assumptions politely in English.
So, are you saying that playing games can indirectly improve spoken English without directly studying grammar or vocabulary?
Yes, exactly. Games reduce fear, and when fear is reduced, your brain becomes more open to processing language naturally, which is essential for fluent speaking. The phrase, "Are you saying that?" is a very polite and effective way to confirm understanding. In spoken English,
But what about professionalism? I worry that games might make my English sound too casual or informal.
the truth is, games help build confidence and flow, while formality depends on context, not on how you practiced. The phrase "it depends on context" is extremely important in English and can be used in professional discussions.
Can you give me an example of how games might help me speak more confidently in real situations?
Of course, imagine playing a strategy game where you must explain your decisions, react quickly, or communicate with teammates. These skills directly transfer to spoken English situations. The phrase "these skills directly transfer" is often used in professional and academic English.
I never thought about it that way, and now I realize that my fear was more emotional than logical.
That realization itself is a sign of growth. The phrase "I never thought about it that way" is a very common spoken expression used when your perspective changes.
So, instead of feeling guilty, I should see games as a tool, not a distraction.
Exactly. And this sentence is very powerful. I should see this as a tool, not a distraction. You can use this structure for mindset changes in many areas of life.
That role play really helped me understand how naturally these ideas can be expressed in English without forcing vocabulary or memorizing rules.
That's the beauty of spoken English learning. It is not about perfection, it is about clarity, comfort, and confidence. When learners reuse these phrases in daily conversations, they slowly build fluency without fear.
I also noticed that mistakes didn't stop communication. Instead, clarification helped improve understanding.
Exactly. English is a flexible language, and real communication values intention more than accuracy. If you found this conversation helpful, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Elite English Academy, like this video, and share it with anyone who wants to improve spoken English naturally and confidently.
In our next lesson, we will explore another practical topic that affects real life, English speaking, and confidence. So stay connected and keep learning with us.
Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Remember, learning English is not about pressure. It is about progress. We'll see you again very soon.